We are live, and I have revealed myself again. I tell you, I keep doing this. I cannot just begin this without giving you a little bit of music. So let's pretend I'm not here, and we're gonna go through our usual sequence. Hold on just a second. Boom. Now, you can tell that I'm going through a rushed day. Good morning, everyone. You can tell I'm in a rush to get everything started and in a good way when we go live, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm not ready to be sitting there. And here we are. But now we are ready. And welcome, everyone, to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together every single day of the week, Monday through Sunday, 10:30, live here on Facebook, where we get together some good headlines and stories and suggestions and comments and ideas about how to best enjoy our lives here in Puerto Vallarta as an English speaking community. If you're new to these broadcasts, my name is Paco, and we love to welcome new people. So feel free to type the words new in a comment so that we can welcome you properly. And if you have specific questions that you would like to address, to share with us during the broadcast, please write the letter Q before your questions so that we can make sure to get to them. As always, we welcome all kinds of dear friends that are always here or fairly regularly here. We see that Michael is in Oregon. Um, Karen is wishing us good morning, which is great. Karen is in Minnesota. William is here in town. It is always great to see all of you, and it's always great to see folks that that are not in town right now, and folks that have missed a few days. It doesn't matter, the reruns or the archived broadcasts are all on Facebook. They're all on the website. They're all on YouTube, so you can find out. You can find out what you missed. And I'm sorry, I'm smirking because I just read this comment from Logan, who just found out that Taco Bell is launching a custom made line of wines. Not sure what to do with this information. Um, I would suggest you ponder it. I would suggest you ponder it. I am not going to chastise a wine until I've sipped it. We love wine. We love wine. We love Mexican wine. And this afternoon, I'm going to get together with a couple of friends that know a lot about Mexican wine. And I'm going to ask them some questions because I love Mexican wine, and I suspect that not everybody does. And some people may not like Mexican wine simply because they don't know it. And so that's why this afternoon, if all goes well, I'm relying on a couple of loving, helping hands to guide us through the world of wine and headlines. I don't know, but this is going to happen this afternoon. I'm very, very excited. Um, Daryl Clemens said he watched the presidential video that we posted yesterday, the parade. We will be talking a little bit about the parade in a little while. Of course, it was a very different year than it usually is, Daryl. Usually, um, multitudes of people go to the Zocalo in Mexico City to enjoy the parade live. And indeed, some people try to get close. And of course, the guidelines set forth by the city were that people were not going to be allowed to be there for safety reasons and for health concerns. So Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to enjoy a more traditional parade as we have had in years past. Good morning, Lynn from Vancouver. Thank you for your remarks, Betsy. Blue is a color that I like for home. I very rarely wear blue out and about just because I'm an orange and green kind of guy. What can I tell you? Um, Lorraine asks, is the 200 clear now? For those of you that think that Lorraine is speaking in code, let me explain. 200 refers to the Highway 200. But I think you already knew that because you're all locals. What am I thinking? Is it clear now? I don't know the specific answer to that. My suggestion, Lorraine, is that if you're traveling north, you contact businesses that are north of the highway, so that you can find out if people having problems accessing. I don't know that there's a specific place in the transportation secretary's website where you can find this specific information. Same thing if you're traveling south. That would be my best suggestion. Um, boom, 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 bim, bam, bam. We have a newbie. Chef Calis, hola, soy nuevo. I am new. Bienvenido. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. This is what we do. We talk about things that are good for us here in Puerto Vallarta. Breathing fresh, clean air in PV, excellent, of course. But hopefully the air is also cleaner over there. Oh my goodness, lots of comments from everybody. Edgar, it was great to see Edgar the other day. Edgar is the manager at Seasons PV Restaurant, and as I told you a few days ago, um, Seasons is the second air conditioned enclosed restaurant that I decided I would go and visit, and I had a wonderful time. They're taking very good care of you. They are serving delicious food, and uh, I did not feel concerned about my well-being. And it's been a few days, so I'm sure it's a fine place to enjoy. I've enjoyed it before, and I will look forward to enjoying it again. Logan insists. Oh, I'm gonna have to look for. Oh no, really? Toasted chalupa crunch. Lord have mercy. Okay, now I have a mission right after the broadcast. I see you have comments about wine. And Christine asks, am I going to have a Mexican wine video segment? Of course we are. As soon as it's ready, we're definitely going to do this. I'm glad to see that some of you are asking about this. Did I post my San Sebastian trip video? Not yet. I'm a little behind with my video editing, but I am going to be working on that this week and this weekend as well. Where can you buy Mexican wines locally in PV? Just about every wine distributor sells Mexican wines. You can even find Mexican wines at the supermarket at La Comer. But I will be getting together with a couple of people that will give us some very specific suggestions. I'm glad that Lisa watched the second Taco Chronicles and they spoke of alburs. Yes, albur is an important thing to keep in mind. Great comments about Mexican wines. This is awesome. Is there a part 3 of 3? Oh, God, I'm getting busted and grilled. No, I haven't gotten to it, but I promise they are all coming. Yay! They are. They are. The oldest winery in the Americas is in Mexico, says Sheila. And yes, this is correct. We are going to talk all about this, and it'll be a lot of fun. But today, I need to start by clarifying some news that I announced earlier, because I announced a headline this morning about Canada restricting access to the country, and then I went looking for more information and I couldn't. So let me formally get into the news section so that I can explain myself. Hang in there. Canada, I read this morning in El Heraldo de Mexico, a national newspaper, that Canada was restricting arrivals to their country due to COVID-19. There would be obligatory quarantine. The country will have maximum restrictions to welcome visitors and even those that already have authorization for their trip. And there is our good old Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada. And then when I got to read further, there weren't a lot of specific details about this, and I got concerned about it because I figured I have to find more information to back it up, and I couldn't. I went into Google News and looked for latest headlines about this because this particular news item did say that some statements were made yesterday, and I couldn't find any. So I did go looking into the coronavirus disease travel restrictions page from the country of Canada. And indeed, I did not see specific information about a new change on guidelines. So if you became concerned, if you read this morning that I was going to talk about this, I apologize. I personally don't hear of specific new restrictions that have been released between yesterday and today. If somebody has more information, please feel free to share it here, and I will keep my eyes open for whatever information we may find. And I'm reading some of your comments, and I agree with you, Michal. I know that Canada has had a mandatory 14-day quarantine for quite some time, and this is part of the reason why I became startled with the headline after I started reading into it and realized that this may not be as well researched as I would like to share. So again, hopefully nothing new has happened. Back to the headlines. Indeed, yesterday was the military parade. A military parade took place in Mexico City, as we were talking about earlier. This was very different than other years. I'm going to share just some images from this article featured in El Universal. Something that you may not have noticed during the parade, if you were watching, is that apparently Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador wanted to make sure that women were properly showcased as proud members of the military and the Air Force. It was women that were commanding the parade of planes that flew over El Zócalo yesterday. And in the photos that I've seen of members of Mexico's forces, I've seen a lot of photographs of women taking selfies and things like that. So it is nice to see that the women that also defend us were showcased in this particular parade. It was a nice thing to see on television. I don't know if you folks had a chance to enjoy it. Moving on, I found this other headline again from El Heraldo, and I will make sure to continue to look for further information on this. The World Health Organization has revealed that their estimation of continued use of sanitary measures and face masks and so forth and so on will prevail until 2022. So if you think it is going to be time to ditch your face mask sometime in the near future, everything seems to indicate that this is going to continue for some time, and this is something that we've been mindful of and aware of. How long exactly, we're not entirely certain. More news about cruise lines coming back to Puerto Vallarta in November. Yet another headline about this featuring Arturo Musiganem, who's the president of the Mexican Cruise Line Association, or the Mexican Cruise Ship Association. Everything seems to indicate that Norwegian has already programmed some cruises to depart from Los Angeles and head to Cabo San Lucas and Ensenada. Although those particular ships will not include stops in Puerto Vallarta, but the Carnival Carnival Cruise Lines has also started preparations to do this. Of course, we know that none of this has been formally confirmed by the United States, and it would have to be confirmed by the United States so that we can, because all the cruise ships depart from the West Coast in California. We also see reports that apparently the trash collectors in Los Muertos Beach have been a little bit lazy over the past few days. Some readers sent these photographs to Noticias PV showing that there is no trash service presently at the beach. So hopefully this is a temporary thing, and hopefully the trash collection service will resume right after the holiday celebration. Let me take a quick look at your comments just to see what is going on here. I see a number of questions related to wine, which is really wonderful. Why are Mexican wines more expensive than imports? Oh dear, that is a complicated question that traces its origin all the way back to the beginnings of wine in Mexico. And although I could tell you that story, I'm going to defer to my friends that I'm going to interview this afternoon. Mexican wine was extremely popular in a nutshell, and I'm going to try to answer this briefly, William. Mexican wine was a very prosperous industry when the Spaniards came to the Americas. The Spaniards very quickly realized that there were some areas of Mexico that produced excellent wines due to the quality of the soil and the temperature and humidity and all the conditions necessary. Some of these wine regions are still operating, and in fact, the oldest winery in the Americas is in Mexico, Casa Madero. But it so happened that during the colonies, when the Spaniards were here, wine produced in New Spain, that is here, became so wonderful that all of a sudden, so much wine was being exported back to Spain that it threatened Spanish wineries, and I mean by that Spanish wineries in Spain. So the king had to impose a very high tax in the production of wine in Mexico, and even got to the point in which the only wine that was allowed to be produced in New Spain was clerical wine, wine to be used in church. So this is how Mexico, or the Spanish, killed wine production in Mexico. Fast forward to present times. Since wine didn't prosper in Mexico, wine went to South America and it prospered fine over there. Beer prevailed in Mexico, and to this date, this is why our country is more of a beer drinking country than a wine drinking country. Wine continues to have huge taxes attached to it. So, but it is wonderful. Mexican wine is wonderful, and it continues to be more renowned throughout the world. But the bottom line of it is Mexican wine is more expensive to make because it is made in smaller quantities because of all those restrictions. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm looking forward to having a wine conversation with my friends this afternoon. This will not be live, by the way. I will be editing and adding it to my long list of videos that I have to continue editing. Let me see. Question. Ever thought about doing a PV neighborhood history and little known facts for locals that may not be acquainted with their neighborhoods? Michael, I have thought about this. The curious thing about the history of Puerto Vallarta is that even though we have a city historian, it is not as though the chronicles of the city are that easy to access. They are locked away in city government buildings, and there are some books out there about the history of old neighborhoods. Some of them I own, and I always look for those kinds of interesting bits and pieces. So, Michael, I will definitely take your question and suggestion to heart. I think it's a great suggestion. It's just a matter of getting the information from the source. It's not as easy as we would want it to be, unfortunately. Let's see. Thank you very much for that, Angelica. According to the news, Canada is preparing for the second wave in October. This is unfortunate, but it is good to know that there is information. Thank you, Gary. I was not aware of this. So it is important to know. And thank you very much for chiming in, Guda. Again, I am just reacting to the news that I have seen down here. So hopefully we will get more clarity in the next few days moving forward. I'm not gonna reproduce that, guys. We know that the United States is going to have a very difficult time in the next few weeks. We send good vibes to the United States. We definitely do. Terry says a map tour of the various neighborhoods and what makes them unique would be awesome. What a great idea. I love your suggestions. Um, Oh, okay. So Daryl tells us that Carnival announced today that they are selling ships and canceling all cruises until next year sometime. There you go. This is the kind of fun that I have trying to find credible and accurate news every morning of the day. I mean, of the week. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you very much, Libby. There's a lot to be said about Mexican wine history, and I'll try to get to that this afternoon with my friends Nina and Julian. I'm very much looking forward to hanging out with them. Um, I don't know that I'm very much of a fountain of knowledge. I just like to read a lot and I love research. I love research. Anyhow, let me continue with some of the news that I have, but not before taking a quick look at our weather. Let's see. We are 28 degrees Celsius, feels like 34. Fahrenheit, it's 83. We have 87% humidity right now and a 15% of precipitation at this moment. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. And oh my God, Carrot Weather says I redirected the bad weather to areas with high concentrations of Pizzagate conspiracy theorists. I love it. I love it. According to the weather, we can expect to have rain and humidity through the day today. Tomorrow, Friday, rain and humidity through the day, so pretty much the same. And it will continue raining until morning on Saturday. And Saturday night, we will have rain again during the evening. So, no new tropical storms to report. This is all good. But, before I continue with the news, let me take a quick look at this from Linda. Was I able to get a copy of the book called My Vallarta? First edition is sold out, but second one coming soon. I am not familiar with the book, Linda. Please feel free to tell us about it over here. If it's something that we should be reading, I would love to learn more about it. Thank you so much for that. And David is recommending a trip to Valle de Guadalupe. Of course, wine country is a wonderful place to visit in Baja California. Hopefully, definitely on my bucket list, and hopefully sometime in the near future. Yesterday, Pam Thompson got in touch with me about a new art competition um, that has been started. This is the fifth. This is a little difficult to read. Eighth art contest to promote the fight against breast cancer. There is a whole series of guidelines. Artists who wish to participate and comply with the rules may participate. There are categories for drawing, painting, and sculpture. They're all for 18 years of older. There will be a panel of judges, and the theme is the fight against breast cancer. Any other themes will be disqualified. You have until October 27 to submit your artwork to the concierge module at Hospital Joya Marina. It should be labeled in a certain specific way, and there are specific guidelines for the size of your drawings and paintings and the sculptures if you want to do that. The awards will be given on October 24th, the first three places of each category. There will be an exhibition of these awards. There is no specific information as to where you can obtain more information about this event. But if the winners will be announced via Facebook Live on the Facebook page for the Hospital Joya, I suspect that this would be a good place to ask for more information about this. So if you are an artist and you want to express your love and concern for awareness for breast cancer, this is an opportunity to do so. Moving on with other headlines, I read with a certain amount of joy that a Mexican man will be let me start again. Mexico will take place in the very first Latin American space mission, and it will include an engineer called Jose Alberto Ramirez Aguilar from the National University of Mexico City. This will be the first Latin American space mission. It will be financed by the Ecuador Space Exploration Academy, la Agencia Espacial Civil Ecuatoriana. This is a non-governmental sponsored mission, and it will involve a series of experiments related to microgravity. There is no date specified just yet, but it is revealed here that the astronauts will have about 10 minutes to perform a series of experiments once they are in space. And another, the exploration will include Commander Ronnie Nader from the Ecuador, Adolfo Chavez Jimenez from Costa Rica, and Margot Solberg from the United States. Yay for the first Mexican to go out to space. And before I share the next headlines, let me take a quick look at your comments. Let me see. Boom, bidim, bam, boom, bam, bam. I would have Okay, neighborhoods of PB would be wonderful. I see where my future is taking me. Mandy, good morning. It's always great to see you. Chef says that he wrote a book about the history of the cuisines and foods of PB. I would be interested in learning more about that book. I really would be. So anyhow, no, 4 crew people, Michael. 4 crew people. 4 crew people. I just mentioned their names. Moving on to the last things that I want to share with you today. I don't mean to crowd you with more information about Natalia Lafourcade, but after I shared some music from her last week, YouTube seemed to want me to continue talking about this. Because YouTube, I love YouTube because once you do certain searches, it keeps sending you videos that it thinks you might enjoy. And I discovered 2 great videos that have a direct and indirect relationship with Natalia Lafourcade. So I would love to tell you a little bit about, first of all, I want to tell you about Playing for Change. Oh, and I get goosebumps just talking about this because, we think about that. Let me go back to Big Me for a second. We think about the pandemic as this force that originated the habit of doing these recordings, these video recordings, where musicians are far away from one another, and yet they are performing together. And we see a lot of that going on during the pandemic, and I think it's wonderful. It's a great way to connect musicians from different places and raise awareness for this, that, or the other. Or simply to play, when you've been in quarantine at home and you miss playing with your buddies, it's just a great way to do it, and it's great to have the technology. But this organization called Playing for Change has been doing it for years. For years, Playing for Change is a nonprofit that has been connecting music and musicians and producing videos involving musicians from around the world. Their website says, "We are a movement created to inspire and connect the world through music, born from the shared belief that music has the power to break down boundaries and overcome distances between people. Our primary focus is to record and film musicians performing in their natural environments and combine their talents and cultural power in innovative videos we call songs around the world." And you can browse all their videos, but the one that I want to share with you right now is the one that they're showcasing. And the one that they're showcasing is called Hasta la Raíz. Hasta la Raíz is a beautiful and probably the most renowned composition to date by Natalia Lafourcade. Hasta la Raíz is this beautiful song that she released in one of her albums. And the lyric of it, Hasta la Raíz, means all the way down to my roots. And the lyric of the song says, basically, I carry you within me, deep down in my roots, and there is nothing or no one that'll make you ever go away from me. And so oh my God, I guess get more goosebumps. So Playing for Change takes this song as an anthem. Let me cough again, hang on. Excuse me. It takes this as an anthem for all missing persons in the world. They say, "We are proud to share our new video of the song Hasta la Raíz by Natalia Lafourcade and Leonel Garcia. and recorded during pandemic times to send a message to the relatives of missing people in Latin America. You are not alone in the search of your loved ones. This is a joint project by the International Committee of the Red Cross and Playing for Change in honor of the International Day of the Disappeared. So I'm going to leave you with a link for this beautiful video because not only is the music wonderful, it has subtitles for the lyrics in English, so that will give you a deeper appreciation of why this song is so beautiful. And I will also leave you a link to the original version as recorded by Natalia Lafourcade. Obviously, between the date of that recording, which goes back 2 or 3 years, and now a number of different cover versions have been recorded of the song because of its powerful message. And the last Natalia, well, not the last, because I am going to have another Natalia Lafourcade surprise for you, and then we'll hopefully close our cycle with Natalia Lafourcade love. But just after I talked about Natalia Lafourcade, I came across this wonderful collaboration, and if you'll indulge me, I'm going to tell you why it is wonderful. First of all, it is Natalia Lafourcade sitting with Omara Portuondo. Omara Portuondo is one of the most legendary, beautiful Cuban singers. She is in her late 80s, I think, or at least mid 80s. So she's been around. She is incredibly representative. And Omara and Natalia got together to record a very traditional Cuban song called Tú me acostumbraste. And what is beautiful about this is, well, there's so many things. First of all, to watch young and accomplished Natalia Lafourcade command the pleasure of inviting such collaborators to sing with her, number one. Number two, the fact that this was recorded live in a living room as opposed to the recording studio. So much can be said about how modern pop music is recorded using a lot of technology, and you record certain instruments first and then others, and then you mix it all together. This was the two ladies, the two performers singing, accompanied by the two guitarists that have been accompanying Natalia Lafourcade as of late. And all four of them just performed this beautiful song live. And then, last but not least, the beautiful harmonies that are performed by Natalia Lafourcade while Omara sings the lead melody, and the song is absolutely breathtaking. So I'm going to leave that link with you, hoping that it'll give you a little bit of goosebumps today, and also the other song. We all need a little bit of goosebumps from time to time. And with that thought, we are going to wrap it up for today. This was Coffee and Headlines for Thursday, September the 17th. We will be back as always tomorrow morning with more news and headlines for you to enjoy. If you found some insight, amusement, introspection, distraction, otherwise good vibes during this broadcast, please consider becoming a supporter. We are a community-based project, and we're always welcoming your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your contributions, and the fact that you carry on about your lives with a positive message and sharing everything that we do around here. We're always happy to see you, right, Luna? Luna says yes. Anyhow, stay happy, stay calm, stay safe, stay kind, and stay in touch. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day.